The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome to another wonderful edition of the December 1st, almost the end of the year edition of the Power Trading Hour. Of course, no Mayan apocalypse, so I was unable to sleep in today. So, what can you say? You gotta say, well, another day, another dollar. I thought it would be zombies walking the streets. Dogs living with cats, real wrath of God stuff. But what did we get? We didn't get much of anything other than another day, another dollar, and look forward to another Christmas. But I guess all the people predicting the end of the world, well, they can predict it again. That seems to be the pattern for them. Of course, last night we had some fiscal cliff news, and Thelma and Louise decided to go off that fiscal cliff. And I don't know, I always liked that picture. I wonder if there were anybody, they must have put like dummies or something in that, because you can kind of see their heads in the movie. But kind of interesting. Anyway, we continue to get the repercussions of that. And when we look at the market, very interesting day out here. I was looking for a little bit more downside. We've had the what I think is the Treasury very active in the market lately. I think that they came in, stepped in very early this morning, and are trying to kind of keep this market up. We're at 1429 on the S&P cash. We've had more volume in the first 30 minutes today than I think we've had all year. So there was a lot of action when it came in. Of course, we're pushing about 2.8 billion shares as we speak on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape. Pretty soon I'm going to have to say on the ICE tape. And then we're going to have to play Ice Ice Baby every time I say it. So maybe that merger won't go through. But I suspect we're going to have a tough year with Ice Ice Baby every time I have to say that. Anyway, New York Stock Exchange been around for, what, a couple hundred years? I guess everything must pass. But we are selling our stock exchange to the Europeans. Anyway, 2.8 billion shares. I continued to think that this market would weaken before the close today. We got down to 1422. The options were suggesting a close somewhere between 1390 and 1410. We're off 14 points. Doesn't seem that bad so far. I am pretty much 100% short, both my newsletter and my personal accounts. But they actually came in quite nice for us today. I just suspect that we have no good answers coming out of the government, and I don't think that we will have any good answers coming out anytime soon. Yesterday I talked a little bit about Herbalife, HLF. And I've got a link here if you're watching Tiger TV. If not, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com if you'd like to. But I've got this link. I think if you had ever thought about being a fundamental investor, this is the single presentation that you should ever watch if you were thinking about dissecting a company and how well it would do. Basically, Ackman works for Pershing Square. He's pretty much the lead dog out there. He's got basically Pershing Square short 20 million shares of Herbalife. That's more than $1 billion short. He says he's going to give $25 million to charity no matter what, but he's betting it goes to zero. But if you wanted to really see how a company can be dissected and how great short operations work, this guy's got a slideshow of about 350 slides where he goes through, dissects how the company works, and is out there calling it a fraud. a pyramid scheme. And you don't do that unless you have a amazing amount of that kind of information. And basically, he thinks that within the year we're probably going to see legal action against them for fraud. He's making a case that they go after probably the people with the least amount of money to actually spare to get into their business plan. They call it multi-level marketing. Anybody that's in it and has ever used a spreadsheet would pretty much understand that we've got basically a pyramid scheme in most of these multi-level marketing things. But Herbalife, HLF, this is one of the few things I think that every trader should ever look at. Even if you're not a fundamental trader, it gets in and you can really see how the short operators go into businesses like CMG or other businesses like Enron and really figure out how these things are total shams. Eventually someone comes along, even after Herbalife has been around for 30 years, and shows just how the whole thing works and how 1 out of 99 people will actually make any real money as a Herbalife distributor. Quite educational, but most people are saying, and I have to agree, that, well, at least in the last 15 years, I have yet to see anybody give a more eloquent presentation of a company that probably shouldn't exist. And it's looking fairly good that I have a feeling that he's going to get exactly what he wanted out of his short position there. He's betting that it goes to zero. But take a look at it. I think one of the best things out there that you can do. A little bit back to the fiscal cliff here today, and that is, let's see, hang on just a second here. Okay, I was just reading something here. When you have a gun to your head, there's only one thing you can do. You can either basically write on the paper. If you watch The Godfather, either your signature or your brains are going to be on the paper. Or you can open your coat and show that you're wearing an explosive vest with a dead man switch. And to some extent, everybody's on Boehner's case here today. But I think what he's actually done now is take himself out of the equation and said that, okay, you two guys have to actually fix it, meaning the president and the, what is it, the head of the Senate. I have a feeling that this may be one of the few ways to go. There's about 120 people out of the 470 or so Congress people that are not going to vote for anything that doesn't have $4 trillion worth of spending cuts over the next 10 years. Basically, the president's offering $1 trillion worth of budget cuts with $800 billion worth of tax hikes. The tax hikes are real. The $1 billion worth of savings is a fantasy. It's probably $200 billion worth of cuts. They're all about things that will come later that will never come. And, you know, at this point, you need to send them to celebrity rehab just to let them know that they are a spender. And you know, get up there and say, hey, I'm a spender. I've got to go through the 12-step process. But they are addicted to it. Of course, in the last 2 years, we've added $20,000 to every household's part of the debt. If you talk about just the 50% of people that actually pay federal income taxes, that means that each family that pays federal income taxes share is $40,000 worth of debt. In the next 2 years, we would add the exact same amount. And there's nothing in this that would change that in any way. So if you're really scared about people having a debt coming out of college, just imagine everybody in the next 2, 3, 4 years doing the exact same thing. So if this passes, my guess is that we sell and short the market because we're going to instantly have a giant downgrade from all the rating institutions. They've already said that they would. And it will probably be justified, as there will be just a few more short years before we end up being just like Greece. We can't spend at these levels $1 trillion more than we bring in every year. And just like a crack addict or a heroin addict, some people can't admit it. But I think he did the right thing. The only thing he could do better now is quit and wait, 15, 20 days to elect a new Speaker of the House, and in the meantime force the President to put it all together. And I think he would have to probably come up to $3.5 trillion in real cuts before he gets a deal. But just understand that all that is smoke and mirrors on the cuts, and you're not going to get those 120 Tea Party Republicans in the House to ever vote for it without any real spending cuts now. They've already been lied to with the check is in the mail from the last time we went through this, and they're not going to believe it now. So I'm going to, basically, I don't see a upside to the market. If they get a deal, it's going to be weak, and we're going to get downgraded. If they make a deal with real budget cuts, then the market's probably going to come in either. At some point, you have to pay the fiddler, and I think that's now. There's a new Netflix law that's going through at least the Senate. Just needs to be passed by actually signed by the President now. In 1988, a Video Privacy Protection Act came out because people were snagging what people were watching at movie rental locations. And so it's kind of gotten into this whole thing where you can't put what you watch on Netflix and share your lists on Facebook. So they had to actually pass a law saying that you could do that. I wouldn't want to do it, but if you want to, you can. But up to this point, it's been illegal, where it's been legal in the rest of the world. They've been doing it for a while. Personally, I don't know if I really care what people watch. I just don't know that airing my laundry for the world to see is exactly what I want to do. I don't know, maybe what everybody I used to know was so private. Maybe it's my Midwest upbringing out here. But it is tough. Let's see. The world's okay. Anyway, what else do we have? Brookstone CEO was out on CNBC this morning. If you've ever seen the movie Broadcast News, and the flop sweat that the anchor had, what's the guy's name? Albert Brooks. If you've ever seen him sweating, I don't know how they actually did it. I kind of vaguely remember seeing someone say how they made him sweat that much. But whatever they did, it's probably an amazing 3 minutes to watch. It's on YouTube and some of the other video sites out there. But basically a kind of a regular guy in the news gets his chance, gets in front of the camera. He sweats like he's under 150 degree lamp. Anyway, this Brookstone CEO came out this morning, and I have yet to see anybody sweat as much as Albert Brooks. But if this thing's still on CNBC's site, it's pretty funny. This guy's sweating off of his lower lip like he's on crack or something. Be back in a minute.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Happy holidays from TFNN. Our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale is back this December at TFNN. Normally we offer only a 10 to 20% bonus on Tiger Dollar purchases, but through December 19th only, when you purchase Tiger Dollars to spend on any of our products, you get a 25% bonus on your purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. You'll receive a personalized thank you letter directly from our local Clearwater Salvation Army administrator in appreciation of your donation. Tiger Dollars can be used on any of our newsletters or subscriptions, never expire, and are fully transferable. Take advantage of our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale of the year right now. Visit TFNN.com for all the details and to make your purchase today. Happy holidays from TFNN.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
So as we come back here, we've got a little bit more news to go back through. If you haven't been able to be watching, RIM came out with their numbers last night. Their service revenue, which is a lot of the money they recoup from the vendors who actually sell RIM devices, is scheduled to drop about 50% in the next year. And the version 10 of his product is going to be a little late. Probably everybody knew that already, but I think it's going to be yet another month late. That actually brought the price of RIM down. It was up actually slightly in the after hours before they started jawboning, and what was it, up around $14? It's about $11.10 now, off almost 22%, and you know, a lot of these stocks that are highly short, just like we talked about with Herbalife, can be around for a while. But if the short has a lot of money, they could sit on it for a long time to make 100%. Because if you go to zero, every short is 100%. I had a kind of a comment and then about whether or not they could run the short for Herbalife. And this guy's been working on the short for a year and a half. A lot of people think that, hey, you just go in there and short the market, especially when you put on 20 million shares short. This guy's been shorting this thing, and he didn't say exactly where he was, but probably somewhere in the $65, $70 range for an average of where he was short. So this is nothing new, and of course some of the other big shorters in the marketplace lately and have bought massive amounts of puts on this and not tried to short actually the equity. So there's a lot of people out here that are more than willing to hop on board the short train for Herbalife, but it would be pretty hard to short these guys. They've got lots of cash, and basically you don't short companies like this that have a chance of coming back at you. I mean, RIM, could it bounce 50%? Yeah, but would you still be losing any? I think the people that shorted RIM and Enron and a lot of these other companies knew that they were frauds. All you have to do is have the patience to wait. Most people think that they just should instantly go to zero. And even Enron was bouncing around there at $10. I think I bought it at $6, sold it at $9 one day in Enron. And so you can still play the long side of these. I've learned since that it's normally a pretty stupid thing to do. It's much better to have a stock that's actually going to be around for a while. But you can take a look at it. Red Hat came out with their numbers. Fiscal third quarter earnings fell 9.1% amid higher compensation expenses and other items masking continued revenue growth. The software company also said it agreed to acquire privately held Management IQ for $104 million. Red Hat, which is RHT. And it's up about $2 today, even though saying that they were having some problems. It's one of these few stocks that kind of bucking the trend out here. $54.07, up $2.09, and almost 4%. So, of course, once they crossed about $50, they became the first billion-dollar company to actually not produce anything. They're a totally service company around Linux, and it's kind of hard to see, but they were able to make a business just out of the service side and actually do fairly well. Anyway, what do we have here? About a minute to go out here. Let's start taking a look at some of these stocks out in the marketplace that we're moving today. Let's see if we get out here real quick and get to my charts out here. Here we go. And what did I want to look at? Oh, I know what I wanted to look at. That was, if I can find it here. Why can't I? It's missing. Hang on just a second here. There we go. Okay, and NASDAQ. I've got about a minute here left. Tell you what, the internet has not been nice to me the last couple of days in the studio here. But we'll get it ready. Okay, for the stocks that are moving, RIM is the worst one in the NASDAQ 100. Of course, off 22% at the lows out here today. Micron's off about 7.5%. Off 51 cents, Amused symbol. Shields, of course, Sears Holding, another one of my living dead stocks or walking dead stocks. It's off 6.5%. MCP off 5.5%. Green Mountain Coffee Roasters 3%. Priceline off 2.5%. BMC Software off 3%. And NVIDIA off 2.5%. We'll look at the winners when we come back here. Give me a call, 877-927-6648. Or they'll place Ice Ice Baby again.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Yo, Vanilla, kick it one time, boy.
We warned you. I warned you. If you didn't call, it's going to be another 30 minutes of Ice Ice Baby. He's just going to play this on a loop. And if you don't in 15 minutes, he's probably going to go to Yoko Ono. He's going to up the ante to Yoko Ono. I'm sure he is. Give me a call, 877-927-6648. We're looking at stocks out here that are interesting. A lot of times during expiration, it's all about expiration. One of the stocks that looks like it's going to be pinned out here is Intuitive Surgical, ISRG. The biggest winner on the S&P. In the NASDAQ 100 today. But it looked like they want to pin this thing. It's trading right around $500. I'm looking for it to expire right at $500. A lot of options on this thing, and pretty good indication that that's exactly where it wanted to expire today. And we're probably going to see more action before the end of the day on that. Oh, I wanted to check the market just to see if anything else happened here real quick. 1428 on the S&P, so we're off 15 points. Just ready to turn about 3 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape before I start singing Ice Ice Baby, because, of course, they're being bought out. But anyway, Intuitive Surgical, when you look at this, a lot of volume down the last 2 days. After the news. Looks like this thing's filled the bottom gap out here, but we still have plenty of volume. You did and will go through that September 13th low at 481.26. I suspect that's a little bit of a shakeout here, but this thing may be following the route finally that CMG and some of these other stocks have of actually topping out over here in the marketplace. Some stocks I wanted to be watching. Lately, one of the few stocks that's actually broken out with volume and a sign of strength, although we really haven't had much of a follow-through here, is Adobe Systems. ADBE is the symbol, of course. But you had a nice little bounce out of here, gap up on the 14th that came with 17.5 million shares. Been doing about half that or a little bit less the last few days out here. If this thing could come back and fill that gap at 36, the market does decide to try to turn bullish. Might not be a bad one to look at. One of the few stocks that has actually broken out with volume. We're going to go through a couple other ones here. See, I mean, we've got a lot of these stocks that are just banging out. This is one I'm not familiar with, but another one that's actually breaking out and may or may not be. Let's see if I get the. Doesn't look like it's got the volume today. Alon USA Energy, ALJ. We'll find out what these guys do here today. But you know, it's breaking out. It had a last high out here at 1.9 million shares. If this is correct, it's breaking out with very light volume. ALJ, and what do they do? Together with the subsidiaries, engages in the refining and marketing of petroleum products, primarily in the South Central, Southeast, Western, and Western regions of the United States. The company operates in 3 segments: refining, unbranded marketing, asphalt, and retail branded marketing. So, interesting. I don't know them very well. ALJ, but one of the stocks that's actually busting out here today. Let's see, Allison Transmission, nothing there. Alpha Natural Resources, Air Products. This was one that I think maybe we've been talking about for a few days, but very interesting out here for me. I don't know if we're going to get much action next week, but this is one that certainly looks rather ripe out here. You've had some high volume down. And that started, on October 19th, when it came down on 5 million shares. Finally got down to $76.78 on October 24th, which probably get back at least fairly close to that range at, 76.78. 3.1 million shares, so you had a decent amount of shares out there. We're trending around 1 million shares on this thing over the last few days. It's finally filled that gap. Air Products and Chemicals, basically these guys wheel around a lot of these semis that look like gasoline tankers around on the street, but a lot of times they're full of nitrogen or carbon dioxide and that kind of stuff. I think they do chemicals, but I normally see their trucks running around with CO2, carbon dioxide, and other things like that. Let's see what else we have out here that we found here out with a scan. Bank of America is still hanging up, not a lot of volume there. BHP Hilton. We talked about this, I think, yesterday and the day before. We were waiting to see if this thing would close back below on the much lighter volume. One of the reasons why I was fairly bearish in this market, we've seen this over the last couple of weeks, is a lot of stocks busting out over previous highs, very light volume, and closing back in that trading range. BBL is the symbol on BHP Hilton. Your last high out here was $69.96, 2.1 million shares. Of course, we went up on December 19th, but only got up to $70.55 with 750,000 shares. So basically, you're coming in, about 40%, 38% of the volume. You have closed below it. That is a valid sell signal on BBL. Another one is Brunswick Corporation, BC. I think they still do AMF and the bowling alleys and all that kind of stuff. They didn't have, half the volume, but it was pretty light yesterday, trying to break out of the previous high of April 27th, $27.40, 1.7 million shares. Got into that up to $28.27. And what are we going to close below that today? Maybe not, but close below $27.40 would be a valid sell signal on that. The energy's been very light when you look at the move from April 27th down to June 4th. And the energy, when we come back up, about the same dollar range, is about half. So not seeing a lot of action in, I guess, the bowling alleys these days. What else do we have out here as we look at it? Beacon Roofing Supply Company. Been seeing these housing stocks look like they're probably ready for a decent-sized pullback. I think I brought this up a little while ago on the show, and that's BECN. But we see the October 31st high, $33.34, 1.6 million shares. Got into this thing on December 20th up to $33.79, so a good, 30, 40 cents higher. It did close below it that same day. Today we've got confirmation, but came into it, you had less than half the volume. It closed back into the same trading range, would suggest it's going to try to come back down and hit $29.66. If it can't break out the top, it's going to try to break out the bottom. So what else do we have? Franklin Resources, BBG, BMO. Actually, BMO Finances, Crown Holdings. We'll find another stock here. A lot of action out here today. Core Laboratories. Well, this certainly looks interesting, but probably a little bit new. Commercial Metals, Capital One. I've got a lot of stocks out here that I'm looking at. We'll see. Citrix Systems. Citrix Systems doesn't look like a bad ABC down. This thing didn't do much of a retracement. We'll take a look at this thing here. CTXS is a symbol for Citrix, and we'll get into the ABCs of it all here. But it's done a 0.46 or 46% retrace from the high, and that high was September 21st at $82.61. 2.6 million shares came down and hit $56.57 on 2.7 million shares. We've got the basically the retrace. Could it get a little higher? Yeah, but this thing really looks like you need to get at least a retest of that higher volume low out here at on November 15th, 56, 57, before this thing is setting up longer. That 56 level does look like a fairly decent support. Yeah, you've got that. You've got two nice jumps up. So yeah, you've got about 3 million shares though. For that gap up. So it looks fairly good out here to find at that 56 level, pretty good as a support level. So you're probably not going to see it busted unless we start seeing a lot more volume in this marketplace. But right now, not a whole lot happening. Dilek Holdings, DB, Dunkin' Brands. This one's kind of interesting here. It looks like it's failed. DNKN is Dunkin' Brands. Oh, our wonderful producer is waving his Dunkin' coffee in there. But Dunkin' Brands, DNKN, this looks like a valid sell signal on Dunkin' Brands. We've got $33.09 on October 15th is the last major high. 2.7 million shares. You got into that with 1 million shares. We have, I think we're going to get a fairly definitive close below that high. So we're back in the trading range on Dunkin' Brands. Dow Chemical, Eco, Eldorado Gold. Is that that wouldn't be a bad ABC up if this thing's actually bounced. But gold looks weaker to me. Let's see a few other ones out here. We've got anything going? Ericsson, Enzo, Everbank, Go through a lot of these stocks here. Got a lot of action out here today. Flowers Food. That's kind of interesting stock out here. Boy, this thing came up with heavy volume. Is that right? 4.4 million? Yeah. Okay. So, well, Flowers Foods up here, kind of pushing these highs. Going to get a nice little doji out here today. A lot of times you come back into this thing. This might not be a bad play out here. Another one that did come up with very strong volume on the 15th of November. Is that right? 16th of November with 4 million shares. But this thing could pull back to that 22, 25 if we did get a bull market out here. Might not be a bad play out there. Fossil out here. This is another one that looks like not a bad play out here for being short. It's still got to come out and test the low at $62.77 from July 17th. At least get back into these gaps here. It's been kind of trending sideways for a while. You came down on monster volume on 5/8, 20 million shares. This thing's been come back at least a couple of times to get into this gap. This thing could probably pop one more time with the market rolling, probably get it back into that $75 range fairly easily. Foster Wheeler, looks like it needs to go just a little higher before it's a play. Gilead Sciences, Great Panther Silver. You know, that one's kind of interesting here. Great Panther Silver, GPL, of course, a sponsor on this show. But we've got not a bad little signal here today. I'm going to have to write this one down. He had a huge volume day down, $1.51 on May 16th. 1.2 million shares. Coming into it with lighter volume today, about 1 million shares. Yeah, I mean, that was yesterday. So what do we have here today here? 600,000 shares, just under 1 million yesterday. Would be kind of interesting. I guess I'm going to have to look harder at some of these silver stocks. But that is one pattern there that's saying that at least for the moment, Great Panther Silver is looking like it's bottoming. We're looking at Goldman Sachs here right now. GS, another one that's testing a previous high on much lighter volume, $128.72 on March 27th, 8.2 million shares. Got into $129.72 yesterday, won 5.5 million shares, closing back below it. And pretty good indication that we are seeing some tops out here, at least for, I would imagine, for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to check back into the market just real quickly. Still at 1428 on the S&P, and 3 billion shares, so not a lot going on here. Goodyear Tire and Rubber, it's coming into a high volume down day and filling that gap. It's kind of pulled back out here, but not a lot to look at actually. Hain Celestial, we talked about that yesterday. This thing had been filling its gap. Of course, the market busting down today. Looks like it's going to go after that $51.38 of August 13th now. 1.1 million shares. Light volume today, so that wouldn't be too bad. You got about, about $3 to get down there, $3.50. So maybe a good one to put an alarm on. Huntington Bank shares. Not a lot in that. Logic, Honeywell, Hillardy. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. I'm kind of going through a lot of these stocks here that I haven't had a chance for. Iconic Brand Group, ICON. There's another one up here at these highs. Fairly light volume out here again today. Oh no, he's bringing out Yoko because you haven't called. You better call 877-927-6648. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. My hands are tied. He's in that studio, and he's an evil genius finding... Oh, no, not Yoko. Not only did she have to destroy the Beatles, but she has to destroy my eardrums.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to tfnn.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to tfnn.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at tfnn.com.
And we've got a caller here, so no more Yoko Ono. I want to thank you. And it's Dennett from Mountain View, California. How you doing, Dennett?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So we are looking at Apple. What are you thinking about doing with it here?
I'm actually holding some puts, and I'm wondering if I should cover or close them out, or should I keep holding them? They're January.
I would probably hold on to them. Unfortunately, I'd have to probably do a lot more work to look at how fast they're going to decay. What strike price?
$460.
Well, How much? What are they trading at right now?
I'll have to bring that up. I actually closed out the window.
Okay. I'll try to do it too. Options. Where's options? There they are. Okay. And I'm looking. So they are options. And they are January's 460s. Puts, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I mean, you kind of bought a lottery ticket, but probably not a bad one. Is that right? Oh, no, I'm looking at the calls. Let me see. Okay, let me get down here. Boy, there's a lot of options on Apple. So they're trading around $3, right? Up 87 cents.
I thought it was a little more.
What's that?
I thought it was a little more, but that could be right.
Last quote I see here, I just have the delayed up here, but it looks like $3.15, something like that. Up 87 cents today, so probably not a bad deal. Not real thick there. You only got 202 for that strike price. 455s had 4,600 options at the 455s. Kind of interesting. I'm going to say this thing is set up to go to probably 395. And everything I see says that we're probably going to break here at the first of the year. At that price, I'd hold them. I mean, basically, if you didn't buy too many of them, options are always a way to reduce your risk, not add more. So hopefully you didn't buy more than you would have if you had just figured out you could take a 1% loss in your holdings and you could buy, 1, 2, 3, 4 contracts or whatever it was. Are you deep in this thing or just a few?
No, it was mostly hedging.
Okay. I think
I thought that would be a good one to own.
I think you're going to be okay. We've got coming. I've got some Januaries on some other things, not on Apple, but I think you'll be okay. The big thing is you're just going to have a lot of decay over the next week or so. But let's see, January. Okay, so that takes you to the 18th of January. I think you probably want to hold those and probably to the first week, probably that Friday after we come back, because I think if this thing's going to, it looks like right now it's ready to bust through 505, and they're going to be spending a lot of money. They've hired at least 1,000 engineers, probably another couple of thousand with this new place that they just bought in Austin. So they're going to be spending a whole lot of money. The company's been nothing but a cash engine for the last 5-7 years. Now they're really starting to hire engineers. A lot of things that are going to cost, buildings, stuff like that. It's going to probably take them several years to turn this ship around long term. So I'd hold on to probably that 4th and then reevaluate then. Because if you don't sell today, you're going to just start burning through. But you don't have all that much in this thing. You've only got $3 to go down, and even if it went back $3, you're basically trying to figure out if you could get to 460. And one bad day is all it would take. So I'd hold on to the 4th of January and reevaluate then. Okay?
Well, thank you very much.
You bet. Anyway, you all have a safe and wonderful day and have a wonderful Christmas. We'll see you next Wednesday and in the second hour tonight of the Tom O'Brien Show. See you all later.